Got to do it sometimes.
Excellent. Sometimes you need that. And this is the Steiger-Olson Report, part of the GNN network. And Wayne, today we're going to start out by looking at the planet ERIS. A dwarf.
Sweet. I mean, now I'm going to have to raise my hand on this one because this thing confuses me.
Me too.
Okay. All right. So as long as I'm not alone.
Yep, you're not alone.
So what we got here, first of all, can I ask a question? Why would a dwarf planet be casting a, look at that. Is that what I saw up there in that picture?
Yeah. This one?
Look at that. Uh-huh. It's got a moon?
It's got a moon and it's got several round objects like around it or something.
Okay. Well, this is getting interesting. I have a sense you're going to
and look at where the orbit comes in on ERIS.
What the freak?
It goes right through the inner solar system. How could we have missed this, first of all? Well, what do they say the orbit of this thing is? We just need to get the orbital cycle of it.
Yeah.
Because how we didn't notice this thing, if it was going through the inner part of the solar system for so many times, and okay, here's the orbit. 558 years. Okay, all right, I'll go with 558 years.
Okay.
All right, but does that look like a 558-year orbit to you?
No.
And it seems like it's focused on the inner solar system, Wayne.
And what about
most of its ride is going to go right through the center. Go ahead. Sorry.
What about Macame? I mean, I'm seeing all of a sudden all these dwarf planets. Look at that one.
And again, these are, I had no idea.
Did you see that go directly between us and the sun?
That's what I'm talking about. Thank you for mentioning
Go back on that.
Yeah, see, it goes right past
Holy
the
crap.
sun. I mean,
What?
it's like when again, and here's another one that goes right.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Okay.
Wait a second. Hamia? Wait a second. Okay, another dwarf planet that I have never heard of before.
Let's just stop. Time out. Time out. Okay. We're going to review, for my sake, if in nothing else. All of a sudden now, we got freaking dwarf planets colliding. And that's all I'm going to say, colliding in with the inner planets.
Right. There's no, I mean, if these things had been truly going through the center of the solar system for all this time, these 588-year orbits and stuff, it makes you wonder how much, and we haven't even talked about 45P yet.
No. No, but here's the deal.
Real quick.
Who's pushing this? Who are pushing these objects in? I just saw on the Science Channel, they did a thing on rogue planets.
Oh, yeah.
And oddly enough, Suspicious Observers did a story, and you can get the paper on that, the white paper on rogue planets. It now seems, Mr. Olson, that current science thinking says that for every star, are you ready for this, has a rogue planet.
So in other words, one of the consequences of a sun forming or a star forming is that a rogue planet will shoot out of that mess.
It's almost for every star. Our sun is a star. So, you know, again, it's this intellectual elitism that you get so fed up with when you get people stating absolutes. Well, look at that. This alone shows that absolutes are basically the assumption. It's going to make an ass out of you. So my point to this is, Steve, Nibiru, Planet X, the Destroyer, Nemesis, Folklore, it's beginning to seem that maybe not so.
Well, again, you know, it's like this goes back to the human cognitive dissonance thing. And this is something that humans need to understand is you don't know anything, dumbass. You really don't.
And I'm a dumbass. I mean, listen,
I don't care how many degrees you've got behind your name. I don't care. I don't care. You are a dumbass. We're all dumbasses, okay? How could we know what's going on in our inner solar system? How would you even know?
Exactly.
So we have to depend on other people to bring us our knowledge is the point. And when you come to that realization that everything you've learned in your life is from somebody else, that's the time you can start learning.
Look at this orbit of Comet 67P. I mean, again, I'm looking at this. It doesn't even go outside the solar system.
No, it comes inside of Jupiter, and this is where we're getting that big signature from too, 67P, I think.
And by the way, so we're the Steiger-Olson report stands on this one, on the galactic news, is that, folks, our solar system is changing, and it's changing rapidly. We've got comets now that stay inside the inner solar system orbit. I mean, come on, Steve. You know, I have been an amateur astronomer since I can remember. And now we have dwarf planets that are in permanent orbit around our sun.
Right.
We've got comets that apparently now have elliptical orbits within our solar system. What?
Yeah, and then let's finish the segment off by talking about, let's talk about 45P Honda, okay? It's not even on my solar system scope. I can't find it. So I had to go to a different solar system scope. Thank you for the subscriber that sent this so that I could get the orbital path of it. Look at how close it is to Earth right now.
And we can't even see it.
Look at that.
All right, so we look at that. It should be light. It's right next to the sun is the problem.
Well, there you go. And this is what we might be, again, this is a suspicion I have, but nobody's talking about this, right? So we get a lot of these photographs, and a lot of people are thinking they're planets and all that, and I think that's fine. You know, we're trying to do research. I get it. But nobody's taking into account we've got a goddamn comet right next to us.
Yeah, yeah. And listen, we know what comet. In fact, yesterday, there was a rogue comet that came out of nowhere. And as it was passing the sun, what got born was sunspots. And for the first time, we saw a C-class flare begin to. So folks, don't tell us that comets cannot affect what you see in the sky, cannot have effect on the atmosphere, cannot have an effect on our planet, and by fact, has an effect on our sun. Look at this.
Right, and I'm not trying to debunk Nibiru here, okay, guys? I really do still believe that we have a brown dwarf in a binary twin. That, and how do I know that? I've looked at so much data that I'm convinced that we have another star in our solar system.
Again, for our solar system to be a single star system would be the high exception to the rule, not the norm.
Well, here's the thing that people don't ever think about. The number of planets that we're supporting right now in the solar system would be impossible with one star.
Bingo.
It's as simple as that, okay? We could not have Saturn, Jupiter, all these big planets floating around out there without a dwarf star somewhere in the mix. All right, so back to this again, though. So to kind of finish off the segment, what we're trying to tell, or what we're trying to show in this segment, guys, is that there's a lot of objects that are known objects. They're objects that scientists have been looking at for a long time. I'll give you an example here before we jump off. The comet Encke that's coming in here was discovered in the 1800s by Victor Klube. And so these are things that people know about but are not common knowledge. And I think that's the thing that I need to point out most of all, guys, is this is why we learning as a group together is so good. Because we can start to say, well, that might have been a comet that caused that, or it might have been something else, like a dwarf planet. And then we have all kinds of controversy about this ERIS that we can continue talking about. A lot of people think it's Mike Brown's discovering of the brown dwarf.
Well, and I want to talk about this a little because it demands to be talked about. I mean, first of all, by the fact that it's even been identified, number one, implies that there's others. Two, the fact that it's now coming in to the inner solar system and that its elliptical orbit is one of such that I got to be candid with you, it blows me away. And I mean, listen, if you play roulette, whatever, the odds are when you got something that's close with other objects coming in, and I'm sure there's probably models in there that we can see where this thing, but you know what? The solar system is unpredictable, Steve. What if this comes in?
Because we cannot, this is the thing, we cannot simply see everything. We just can't. We don't have the technology for it yet.
Yeah.
So when we talk about the Near Earth Object Program, JPL, we'll look at that later today when we do our update. It's what we can see. It's not everything that's there. Just remember that, okay?
And there's more being discovered every day.
Every day. So just wanted to let you guys in on what we're thinking about as it relates to these comments. It's been a kind of a common story for us, and we wanted to let you see this stuff so you could kind of make your judgment. But again, 45P, very hard to find on a lot of scopes. And I have a feeling because look at that trajectory through Venus, man.
You know what? This is freaky.
It is freaky, isn't it?
It really is.
It's a good place to leave our audience on the edge with freakiness.
We share it.
Yeah, well, we're going to share. Listen, if you're going to join us on this adventure, you're going to